Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And like Magellan, I shall go on an ambitious voyage to find Shaun's bottom cave.
Christ. I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Do you have to open up our podcast with the phrase bottom cave?
Well, I did, Shaun. I did because I need to stay true to myself as an adventurer.
There's enough fanfiction of us already, Rem. I don't think we need any more.
I'll find your bottom cave yet, all right, and I'll find whatever treasure you're hiding.
I'll tell you right now, not much. If we're going off past experiences, mostly disappointment. The One Piece is not real in this case. Oh God, Remington. Here we are. Rem, I made a mistake last week.
I mean, I agree, but I don't know. We might think you made a different mistake. We might disagree on what the mistake was, but I agree that you made one.
Yeah, because, I have a sneaking suspicion what I'm about to say is my mistake. You're going to be like, oh, no, I thought your mistake was showing me that show.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah, correct.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the mistake, Rem. That was fully intent. Court of law, you could find me guilty on that. I did that 100%. You will. You're taking me to court.
You can expect legal papers shortly.
Oh, I see.
I'm getting Dylan and Samantha in the divorce.
Oh, I see. That's funny because you can't afford a lawyer.
I'll represent myself. There's some quote that only geniuses represent themselves or something like that. I can't recall it perfectly.
No, yeah, only geniuses. Yep, definitely not dumbasses. Anyway, no, Rem, my mistake specifically was last week. We talked about topicalness and such, and I mentioned out of the blue, I don't know, I'll do an anime from 2019 or something, which I remembered right before recording this podcast.
Oh, truly the pinnacle of preparation here.
Yeah, but unlike a certain somebody with his long track record of broken promises, I'm gonna keep one of my promises.
Okay.
I am still prepared because I've had this one in my back pocket for, since 2019, actually. If you've considered doing something but haven't for 4 years, maybe it's best left on the cutting room floor. Well, Rem, see, I just wanted to wait for the right time, and also, at the time, let's just face it, some of the requests for us to review it worked more like anti-requests, if I'm honest, because the passion from some of the people that sent me requests for this anime was, let's just say, concerning? Concerning to the point where I was like, wait, you want us to do this for what reason? Excuse me? I'll consider it because, I'll consider every anime until I decide against it. But maybe we'll cover some other stuff first, and in my opinion, covering that other stuff first was the right decision. Because, Rem, what we're watching this week is, and if this awakens any memories in you, I'll be amazed, but also kind of not surprised. But the anime we're going to be talking about today is simply titled Arifureta Shokugyo de Sekai Saikyo, or just Arifureta for short. Does that sound familiar at all to you, Rem?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, good, then it's been long enough. Alright.
Excuse me?
Oh, Rem, there was a hot period for about a year where we were being bombarded with recommendations for this.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
And I put it off primarily because I watched 3 episodes of it, and I was like, I don't want to watch anymore.
Oh, fuck, that's a rough opening, Shaun.
I mean, hey, Rem, we've watched worse things in the past.
That's not a great excuse.
But I thought, it's been enough time. Maybe going back and re-researching it would be the right thing to do, and now would be the time to finally honor that commitment, since
All right.
I accidentally
Well-
chose the year 2019 and I couldn't.
Let me ask you, Shaun.
Okay, what's up?
Was it just as bad as you remember, or was it worse?
Well,
All right, here we go. All right, fuck you, I'm prepared, all right? I will not be broken. I'm
You will
not
not
going to
be
be
broken.
broken. I'm ready. I am a willing participant, all right? This is going to be fine. This is going to be fine. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be enthused. I'm not going to be delighted, but God damn it, I'm going to survive, and I'm going to stay out of the abyss.
okay. You know what, Rem? I admire your perseverance.
I got that gumption, baby.
You got the chutzpah?
Shaun has always said he loves me and my puckered gumption.
Great. Bottom caves and puckered gumption. What a fucking podcast title that would be. My Christ. But Rem, you probably would like to know what the English translation of the title is, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it'll probably help, because so far all you know is that it came out in 2019. There was a lot of fevered recommendations for it. Like, I've got currently in the email, let's see, about 40 requests for it. Waited for those to die down a little bit, obviously. And that it's called Arifureta. Like, those are the only things you know about it. What I will tell you is the English translation is Arifureta.
Yep.
From Commonplace to World's Strongest.
Is this gonna be a bullshit isekai?
Well, Rem.
God damn it!
How would you
No, this
define
is-
a bullshit isekai?
Oh man, I mean, isekai, it's such an interesting concept with so much room to explore and add creativity. So there, and with how many isekai are actually just the same isekai, that leaves, frankly, a lot of room to be original.
I mean, to be fair, Rem, we haven't covered an isekai in a hot minute.
Fuck
You said you wouldn't break. Rem.
It doesn't count as breaking if I hate you.
No, Rem. You've been hating me for 10 years.
Oh, perfect. All right. Then fuck you.
If it makes you feel better, Rem, this particular isekai, they don't have the exact same start as all the other isekais out there. It actually starts, after the isekai part has happened.
Okay, sure.
Because, Rem, this anime is about our main character, Nagumo Hajime, and he's a man. Tell me if you've heard this one before.
Wait, is our main character not Arifureta?
No.
Then what the fuck is Arifureta?
Arifureta?
Yeah, what's Arifureta?
Well, if you must know, Rem,
I do. What the fuck is Arifureta?
title of the show, as far as I can tell.
Cause I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
Alright, so the show is Arifureta from Commonplace to World's Strongest, right? So I thought that meant that Arifureta is the one that goes from being commonplace to World's Strongest.
Okay, I just double-checked my work. Hey, guess what? Arifureta directly translates commonplace.
What the fuck do you mean? So it's commonplace, right? Commonplace from commonplace to World's Strongest.
Yeah.
Perfectly logical. Makes total sense.
I mean, that's just the English title. The, direct Japanese translated title is From Common Job Class to the Strongest in the World, is the direct translation.
Bold of you
So-
that I won't take shots at the translators, all right?
I mean, I'm just saying that both titles aren't exactly great. So that does mean that people are just referring to this as just straight up, oh, have you seen Commonplace yet?
Doesn't necessarily bode great.
No. Basic premise is about our main character, who is, at the start, it's about our main character who is a bit of like a shy, awkward dude. Him and his entire class have been isekai'd to a fantasy world where they are tasked with trying to help explore a labyrinth and help deal with the monsters that come out of it. You've never heard this before, I'm sure.
So goddamn original.
Yep. Except the last time we had something like this, it was actually a fantasy and not an isekai.
Oh, okay. Oh. All right, now, fuck it. Give me some whack-ass CGI. Let's complete it. That's all I need to complete the goddamn bingo board.
Well,
All right, perfect. Bingo, baby.
we'll see. Hey, for the time, a lot of people had some statements about it. And hey, it's about this one guy, and at some point in this little journey where we first meet him, he is knocked into a pit and falls to a lower floor of the labyrinth, barely surviving, and is desperately doing everything he can to survive this betrayal he's experienced, and ultimately finds himself wounded, close to death, face to face with a concentration of pure mana that he has only read about. And using his quote unquote low class skill of basic material transmutation.
Ah, yes, of course. Very low class skill, that one.
Very low class. Most commonplace.
Oh, all of these peasants being able to turn lead into gold and crash the economy.
Yeah. It's definitely not like one of the greatest anime ever made was all about alchemy and transmutating things. But hey, let's not think about that. Let's not think about that. Just in the context of this, a simple transmutation is pretty low class. But mixing that with the incredibly concentrated mana, he manages to survive. And not only that, he survives with the combination of the mana and eating the various monster parts that he comes across down there, which we've definitely never seen before or done better. Definitely never had that before. And he becomes...
Is he a spider or a slime, perchance?
Nah, it's just a dude.
Just a dude.
He's just a dude. Yeah, not as interesting. And he's not like a cute girl with a big shield either. Like, that's not... It's just a dude.
No, I love beige. It's my favorite color.
No, don't be ridiculous, Rem. His hair turns white, not beige. And the story is him trying to climb his way back out of this labyrinth to find the people who wronged him and his adventures along the way. And he also happens to meet the vampire around there. Also, his transmutation ability gets...
Is it a horny vampire?
Depends on your definition. Depends on your definition of horny.
Alrighty.
Because, like, hey, man, like, stories are complex at times. And, if it makes it feel better, he loses an arm like another famous transmuter. There's definitely no parallels there. And hey,
I'm definitely not losing my mind already before even watching it. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be jumping the gun.
Hey, Rem, you said you would not fall into the abyss. Don't let this simple show from 2019 defeat you. So what if it has a second season as well? So what if there's a potentially third season coming out?
Hey, no, that's just because weebs are a very discerning audience and they all loved it, and so that's a proof of its quality, Shaun.
So what if the studio that makes it the only thing we've ever covered that they've done was, believe it or not. Okay, no, we've covered two things that they've done. Wow, fascinating. The two things that we've covered that they've done was, believe it or not, wow, that's impressive. Man, how the mighty have fallen. Well, do you remember Corpse Party, Rem? Remember that one?
Yeah, I do recall.
Like, this was made by two studios specifically, so it's
Corpse Party was the one that wasn't good, but I liked it because it was spooky.
Yes.
It was one of like the two in that category.
Yeah, lots of horror, lots of blood, guts, violence. Yeah. The other thing that the studio had a hand in, because it was made by two studios. It was made by Studio Azred and Studio White Fox. So yeah, no, this was a dual studio production, by the way.
I'm sure that we just get the best of both worlds.
Yep. Azred made Corpse Party and, believe it or fucking not, Mirai Nikki.
Maybe we'll get some edgy bullshit then.
Oh, hey, Rem, you're right about that.
I'll take what I can get.
And the other studio, White Fox, I think they're probably the main studio who animated this. They've done some great things. They did a bit of Steins Gate. They did ReZero. Some fun stuff there. You don't know what Steins Gate is, but that's fine.
No.
They did
ReZero. Is that the one with my namesake?
Yes, Rem.
Ah, cool. Check out twitch.tv/Remington Chase, where recently we had a waifu rumble a couple weeks back where Rem, unironically, did a double F5 and eliminated a bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah, nearly a whole third with her sister. Yeah, and I think based on this, White Fox might have taken the lead on it because they have this show listed under their credits primarily. So we watched 2 good shows from them. Well, I watched 2 good shows from them. You watched 1 good show and Goblin Slayer.
Oh no.
But
a lot of people loved Goblin Slayer, so maybe it'll be okay.
And I will say a lot of the emails will be like, hey, I really, really enjoy this show, and I can't wait to hear what Rem thinks about it.
All right.
Anyway, Rem, let's go watch the show. I'm sure this will be fine.
Right. Okay.
Psych yourself up, bud. Don't let this show be the one to break you. It is not deserving of that glory and status. Just know that it's not my fault.
It is!
It's all the recommendations mixed with the fact that I had to choose a 2019 anime.
Yeah.
You know? And we've already done so many 2019 anime. Like I had to mix it up. I had to mix it up. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Let's go watch some Arifureta.
Did I miss what fucking genre this show was in? Clench's cheeks did not let go. He was called the Bear Trap.
And we are back after watching 4 whole episodes of the first season of Arifureta Shokugyo de Sekai Saikyo, or Arifureta From Commonplace to World's Strongest. And Remington, did this defy expectations, or was it surprisingly similar to everything else in the worst possible way?
Yeah, I mean, somehow it was able to defy expectations, but perhaps not in the direction we would have hoped for.
And something tells me the direction you would have hoped for would have been a positive one.
Here's the thing, Shaun. We all know I'm about to criticize basic bitch isekai trash. We all know that's coming, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty par for the course. You know, you gotta...
Let's add a little spin on it. Let's add some stakes to it, you know?
Some stakes? How are we gonna add stakes to this?
Look, the weebs are not wildly reasonable people. We disagree on a lot of things, all right?
Okay.
But the question is, how wrong can they possibly be, all right? And
are you about to gamble on what you think the weebs rated this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Not what I think they've rated, just what they have rated.
Okay.
Do you know, Shaun? If not, don't look it up. I think it'll make it far more interesting.
Unfortunately, I do know. It's part of my notes. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. That's totally fine. So you know whether this is a gamble or not. I don't. So this will be fun.
Yeah.
Shaun?
Mm-hmm.
If this is... First of all, if this... I can confidently... If this is over 8.0 on math, right? We stop the podcast.
That's it. Game over. No more podcast. If the title of this episode is Last Anime Out of Context, you'll know why.
I'm being completely sincere. So you know whether this... Shaun, you now know.
Right.
In fact, let's... that's usually for the upper echelon. I want to believe that the weebs don't even think this is above average. So I'm going to lower that all the way to 7.6, Shaun.
Okay.
Which is dangerous because we've seen a lot of trash.
We've seen a lot of trash. We are trash connoisseurs at this point, right?
We're trash connoisseurs, and yet a lot of that trash has gotten above 7.6, all right?
Yeah.
That is like a frightening amount. Yeah. So I'm just going to let that linger. We'll figure out at the very end. I'm excited to find out myself because I don't know. And Shaun,
do you have a preliminary hope for what you think it is?
Solo. Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get there. Shaun, you now know because I want to emphasize. If God forbid the weebs are that delusional, I'm going through with this. Which would be a fucked way for things to end, don't get me wrong.
I mean, yeah, we've been doing this for over 5.5 years at this point, so that'd be a bit of a... We have a business together, we have an audience.
Right now, Shaun is either confident that is not the case, or figuring out how he's going to convince me not to follow through with it when we get there. But we'll get there when we get there. You theoretically have time to figure that out, Shaun.
Oh, believe me, I'm thinking.
So let's get into talk about Arifureta. Good God, this is what happens,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When some like 14-year-old
Okay.
is like, oh, fuck yeah, I love Sword Art Online
Okay.
and Death Note and Call of Duty. Those are my three passions.
Oh God, that's a
Those
dangerous
are my
mix.
three favorite things in the whole goddamn world.
That's a sketchy cocktail, Rem.
Yeah, it's not a great one. And then they poorly combine the three. We have our main character. They wake up. They're uncertain.
What's their name?
All right. So for the first two episodes, they're referred to as Nagumo. In the latter two episodes, they're referred to as Hajime. I don't know which one they're gonna like keep going with.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of upset. Like, and don't get me wrong, I've been annoyed when they go back and forth like this, but in this one, they were quite consistent in the first couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they consistently change it. So I'll be honest, I don't know why they would do that. Feels needlessly annoying.
Well, I can clear up some of the fog. His surname is Nagumo, and his first name is Hajime.
Sure, and I assume that's the case, but like, why
It just depends on, familiarity and such.
But the people who are more familiar with him are the one calling him Nagumo.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're his classmates, and they didn't like him much to begin with, except for
But
the ones
some
that
of them
obviously
did.
Yeah.
All right. So I will also say there's exactly 20 seconds where I had hope. All right. 20 seconds I had hope. See if you can spot it. But he wakes up. He's uncertain of his whereabouts. He knows he's fallen. Right. He's fallen further down, and the floors are opposite. So instead of going up to like the 10th floor, you go down to the 10th floor.
Right.
Which I can accept, but took me a minute to get used to.
Yeah, like usually they'd throw like a B in front of that, maybe.
I just want a B. I just want a.
You just want a nice
good old
B.
Yeah.
It's all you've ever asked for,
motherfuckers. We see this rabbit beast that kills like this wolf or this fox, and he's like, "Oh fuck, that rabbit is gonna kill me now." And then a big bear, like a demon bear, kills the demon rabbit and eats it, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta run." But then the bear cuts his arm off, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die." So he starts transmuting everything to escape, and his transmutation, right, which he repeatedly emphasizes, just it's useless, especially in combat. It's base level, like worst it can be, straight up earthbending.
Yeah.
And he will repeatedly be like, yeah, not super useful. And he can do more than just earthbend, but that's like its bare basics what it can do.
Yeah, no.
Motherfucker, I've seen Avatar. I know how strong that shit can be. Like, what the fuck are you talking about shit at combat? That's a you problem, homie.
Yeah, no, look, man, intelligence is short coming in this. It feels like. Because, as soon as I heard that it was transmutation was his ability, I was like, oh, that's a fucking OP ability, so that must be why he becomes the best.
And it's like, oh, maybe there's some, like, limitations to it? No, not at all. He can just manipulate matter as he pleases.
I mean, you want a competent magic system in your fantasy nonsense?
We'll touch on that later. So he transmutes everything, he holds himself up, and there's a holy crystal, which is crystallized mana that is dripping holy water. And I don't know, do they want to emphasize like the divinity of it, how holy it is, or that it's like mana? Do they want to emphasize that? I don't really know. I don't think they know what's going on. They're just like, I don't know, it's powerful. It's good.
They're using fantasy buzzwords, is what they're doing, right?
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, it's a big glowing thing, and the water around it is good, and it'll heal you. Yeah, sure, fuck it. And you're like, oh, okay, want to give like more details? Because later on you'll give an exact hardness and toughness value of everything else, because as it turns out, they've been isekai. Him and his entire classroom have been isekai to a video game specifically. Now, it doesn't say that it's a video game, Shaun. It doesn't say
it doesn't.
that it's a video game, but it is. Every single creature has abilities. Everything has precise stats. That's not how reality works, so they gotta be in a video game. It's just never called one. All right, sure. Why does every isekai have to be in a gamified fantasy setting? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. And I thought, I'm like, oh, it has to be like a video game adaptation, but it's so shit. I don't think it is. In which case, why? Why is it so gamified? And is there a game adaptation?
No, this is a light novel, my dude.
Cool, I thought so. So why? Why do that? Why make these choices? It doesn't improve quality in any way. It just makes it worse. Fucking hell. Anyway, he's without an arm, but he's in some healing water, so he's kind of doing okay. He's like, oh, life fucking sucks. We get some flashbacks that are meaningless. And he's like, oh no, I'm struggling. I'm gonna die. And then he's like, but you know what? I won't, actually. You might think, Remington, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's just kind of like, oh man, I'm gonna die. I should die. Please let me die soon so the pain ends. No, I gotta keep fighting. And you're like, oh, what kind of happened there? And you're like, I don't know. Vibes, I guess. Just kind of vibes, not much character info to go off of. So he ends up fighting some of the monsters, easily killing them with his transmutation abilities, because, you know, it's very powerful of an ability. Yeah. This is him at his weakest, and he quite easily takes down these allegedly very strong monsters, right?
Yeah.
So already, not like this is before he becomes OP.
Yeah. It's almost like he's already OP in a weird way.
Yeah. So he fights the monsters, and he's like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna go eat one because I'm hungry. We had another flashback that how he's the protagonist. What's the better thing to call him? Because I don't know how do people in the community refer to him?
You know, hilariously, Rem, whenever people talk about this show, they rarely mention his name. Mostly due to the fact that they're just talking about the show as a whole and not individuals. And they
Lord knows there's not a lot to say.
Yeah.
I'll just keep calling him protagonist because Lord knows that's all that he is. So our protagonist, we learned that he always wants to defend others, and in this big battle, he wants to defend them even if his powers are just insanely good to use. And he especially wants to defend the girls. Because it's the same show we've done a million times, man.
This one is different.
It's not. I cannot emphasize it's fucking not.
But it's different. Like, it starts when they're already isekai, they're at the bottom of a dungeon,
You took the same elements, you gave them a quick shake, and you dealt it back out, alright? It's still the same deck of cards, even if they're different ones face up.
I mean, they shook his deck so hard that his arm fell off, so that's a lot.
So we see that the class was in a big battle. They fell into a trap. A big battle that a protagonist defended pretty girl, and she was saved, and everybody was like, yeah, we'll come back and save you in just a moment too, protagonist. I don't really know why. This could just be apathy speaking. Maybe it was perfectly explained, right? Mm-hmm. It really felt like protagonist could have just also gone with everybody else. Yeah. Like, it feels like that wouldn't have been too hard, in my opinion.
I think the implication is that his abilities were the most geared for slowing the thing down, essentially. But at the same time...
But he can just kind of, like, do those abilities and run away, like we see him do plenty. Like, those are not mutually exclusive for him, as we see often.
And after all, it makes perfect sense that there's a giant bridge in the abyss
Furthermore, if there's a giant bridge in the abyss, your ability is transmutation, being able to manipulate matter at will. Just make some big ol' holes, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, all he had to do was fucking Balrog him, didn't he?
Like, why are you like, oh, let's add some difficult terrain? No, motherfucker! Sink those fuckers! And then you're like, oh, but then there'd be no bridge. Then you make a new one, because you can do that! Anyway, everybody else in the class starts deflecting and attacking the monsters, right?
Right.
They start pushing them back with the equivalent of, like, everybody has magic missile, basically. Everybody, just every single person has magic missile. It's a default.
That's a much better skill than his transmutation ability.
Oh, yeah, surely. Somehow it's keeping the monsters at bay, but then one of the magic missiles ends up hitting our protagonist and shattering the floor. He ends up falling down. So And that was, hey, magic missile, it don't ever miss. All right. So that was intentional. Someone wanted to kill him.
I'm so proud of you for knowing that. It makes my little D&D nerd heart happy.
and so that's how he like fell and everything, right? Cut to him now as he's eating and thinking back on that and being like, ah, shit. So somebody has it out for me. Someone who I thought was a friend and a classmate. Which here are the 20 seconds I'm interested, Shaun. All right?
All right.
And let's already go to a script doctor. All right? It's something I do quite often, normally at the end once I've explained everything. But I think it's now the most appropriate time so that people can live what I wanted to happen, these 20 seconds where I was like, oh shit, they have potential. Because imagine a little story, right? That goes similarly. You have a protagonist, he becomes an overpowered edgelord, right? How I think it would work, you have the scene where you start out on the bridge or right before where they get trapped or whatever. You have those elements, right? You get him, send him down. You don't take his perspective now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The show, you're like, he's fucking dead. You have 1 or 2 episodes just of just the academy, right? And have them all be working as a team generally. Everything seems pretty hunky-dory, a little bit off, but pretty hunky-dory. Things are going well, all things considered, considering one of the classmates unfortunately and tragically died. But then all of a sudden, he returns, all right? He returns, and he's angry, all right? Little bitch boy is angry and also insanely powerful all of a sudden. And you're like, oh shit. And he says, one of you tried to kill me. I'm going to figure out who it is, and they're going to pay. Some of the students are frightened or unnerved, thinking, is he lying? Is he gone crazy? How is he back? Others who were responsible are like, oh fuck, I'm screwed, right? And we have this like nice little mystery story of this insane god character trying to solve the mystery, but also a little bit unstable. Have some other shenanigans and corruption going on that can overlap and layer over, right? So we can be like, oh, is this the mystery? No, that's a separate mystery that's also fucked in a different way. And there we go. There we go. Now it's a fascinating mystery, almost horror, almost borderline like mystery slasher series.
Which, god damn it, Rem, I want to watch that.
Exactly. So
that sounds fucking great. Holy shit.
For 20 seconds, I believed. That's not what this show, unfortunately, for 20 seconds, I believe the show might do something else. It doesn't. I really want to emphasize that. If you've seen an isekai, you've seen this isekai, but done a little better. Not much better, but better. So, unfortunately, we cut to him. He's eating the meat. Oh no, but the meat, it's bad meat. It's monster meat. That'll fuck you up. Which he's gone to an academy. Feels like something he should probably know. Feels like something they would teach you, like, hey, don't eat the monster meat, but he does. And he's like, I'm gonna die. But he's in the holy water, so he doesn't die. And because he survived and ate the monster meat, he gets the monster's abilities.
Which we've never seen before.
And also, he's a little surprised by, and I'm like, you went to this school that taught all about how this works, and you don't, what the fuck are they teaching you, with all due respect? That feels like very basic. Why isn't everybody eating monsters? And you might be like, well, because they're poison. Yeah, but surely, like, there has to be, you see someone choking, you have healers, so they heal as you're choking, and then you help them survive, and they're like, oh shit, I'm super powerful, so then you do that a little while, right? It feels like it should have happened by now, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe it's because
building,
maybe it's because he has transmutation abilities, and that's another perk of that, which kind of wouldn't make any sense at all, but I don't know, who the fuck, no, fuck you for trying to make sense of it. Don't ask questions. That's where you made your first mistake.
I mean, also, hilariously, considering he has transmutation abilities, surely he could transmute a simple fire. Like, come on. Like, motherfucker just eats that shit raw.
Talking about the different monsters, right? Some of the single worst CGI we have ever seen.
Oh, wow.
We have seen bad CGI. We've seen some rough shit. Yep. And I think this might be bottom 3.
Really?
Oh my god, it is horrendous. It is not from the same show at all. It feels like, alright, I'm gonna Google real quick, right?
Okay.
Free stock CGI, we'll say dragon, alright? Okay. I just want a free CGI dragon. free dragon 3D models. Yeah, it's pretty comparable quality, if not, all right, some of the paid stuff is much, much better. Man, if they would have paid $9, they would have gotten some better models, let me tell you, from what I'm browsing.
Any examples you can send me so I can see this? Because I need to.
Frankly, this one's probably better. Sure, I'll send you a weird one that's free, but also better than anything in the show. That's just free. That's a free one, free little beastie. So you can
pretty nice.
You can get better things for free than they have in the show. So what the fuck?
That looks so realistic, though, Rem. It wouldn't match the anime aesthetic at all.
Yeah, it needs to look kind of metallic and glossy. Otherwise, and you might think, why is it metallic and glossy? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know why everything's got a sheen to it. Every CGI thing. There's some weird ass decisions.
That looks like a friend. I like him.
So he gains the abilities of the monster he ate, and he fights other monsters, gains their abilities. Eventually he becomes super OP, right? He gets OP magic powers, so he can shoot mana, lightning, from his hands, all right? And he can basically teleport, and he can be super speed, and of course he sells transmutation, so you're like, oh my god, he's become a god now, right? Au contraire. Do you know what any god needs? All right. And also, it really feels like he could have done this from the get-go, but we'll cover this in a minute.
Right.
He's like, oh, with my transmutation abilities and a little bit of control with mana, with this, I can take these different rocks and I'll make a gun.
Oh, God.
What? I have to pause when watching, when this guy, right, who once again, I want to emphasize, he can earthbend, he can transmute and control matter at will. That's how he makes the gun. He can now control mana and shoot lightning from his hands. Pure energy. All right. He can teleport. He can go super speed. He has he probably can claw attack because the bear could, and he can do anything the bear can do. So he has a lot at his disposal, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And instead of being like, holy shit, look at all my powers, he's like, but all this is for naught unless I can get a gun. Now, you might think, oh, was this character been like super fascinated with like gun or modern wars and military shit before? No! Where the fuck did the gun come from? It's because someone, when they were 14 years old, watched Sword Art Online and played Shadow the fucking Hedgehog and was like, dude, what if Shadow the Hedgehog was in Sword Art Online? That'd be so fucking dope. Also at this point, I haven't mentioned it, but Bland Bitch protagonist has gone super edgy and like his hair goes white and he's like, yeah, fuck everybody. I'm gonna be evil now. I'm the Joker. Aha. Right. And then the gun is just bad CGI too. But why do you need a gun? This is like being like, hey, Darth Vader, all right, you're a very capable guy, all right, but have you considered getting a pistol? And it's like, what? He can just force choke a motherfucker. Why would he need a pistol? It's like, I don't know, because it's a gun. Why? Who cares? Who cares?
It is very much like, oh man, a much better written character has reasons for not using guns and such, but, and all kinds of fun other abilities that would make it a much more interesting story. But hey, magic sci-fi gun in this fantasy setting, that's what people want to see, right?
Don't get me wrong. I think you could create a fascinating little satire, right? Where a bunch of people get isekai, they all have special powers, and then this weak motherfucker who actually is borderline powerless or has a very niche thing, right? But he had a gun on him before they came, so he still has a gun on him, and he becomes godly powerful just because he has a gun. That's a show right there. That's a show where everybody's like, yes, my magical powers pull One Punch Man, but it's just a gun. One gun man. And he's isekai'd into this world, and he's useless, but he has a gun, and he becomes a god because of that. That's a show. That's not this show, but that's a show. That would be interesting.
Transported to another world, but with nothing but my M1911.
That could be hilarious. But
man, Rem, I'm just gonna say this right now. You have a strange version of Future Sight. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
So,
like, not it's not like 100% accurate, but there sometimes you hit some points that just makes me think,
That's
how much anime does he watch?
oh, it's how it works, but I just have a sixth sense. Unfortunately, it's way too weeby. And so you might then think, okay, the strange decision of him making a gun, that's because perhaps the creators of the show, right, had a lot of cool ideas, but only with a gun, right? They saw a gun gale online and it inspired them. And they had a bunch of neat ideas and were like, oh man, if we were making an anime, this is what we would do with a gun in a fantasy setting. But no, it's mostly just point, shoot, do nothing else. The fighting choreography is some of the worst at all. It's so bad. It's so bland. Occasionally, not only is the CGI bad and the choreography bad, but sometimes in the fights, it will pause on a frame. All the animation will stop, right? And then the screen will just shake for a second. And I'm just left like, is that supposed to be intensity? Just like stop all movement and then shake?
I mean, that's how I get intense, Rem.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And as I'm watching, I wish I had a camera on me so that the audience could see how much I genuinely cringe while watching. There was a moment at near the end of the first episode, I caught myself as the credits started, and I realized I had actively been cringing for the past 5 minutes. It was
Which is problematic because you're still on episode 1 at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't optimistic. At the very end of the episode, is when he kills the bear. Episode 2, he finds more monsters, kills endless numbers of them, so presumably gets endless abilities. Sure. He shows his personality off some more and just how much he doesn't care. No more Mr. Nice Guy, all right? He's been betrayed and he's coming for vengeance. Did I already mention, Shaun? So there was the mystery about who actually shot him, right?
Oh, yeah. Big mystery.
I think I forgot to mention that 20 seconds after, and what spoiled my hopes that there'd be a mystery element, is he just goes, oh, wait, it was that guy. That guy did it.
Yep.
He's the one responsible. And, I'm sure they'll add a little bit more layers to it, where it'll be like, yeah, but this person was also involved or something. But Jesus Christ, come on, man. You had one interesting element. One! And you spoiled it immediately. And further, now we have this character, going for vengeance, but, we have this dramatic character shift. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, bland bitch went to edgy bland bitch. Either way, he still has no personality. So what the fuck do we care? And then he's not even properly edgy because he sees a naked girl, he saves her, right? And she's like, I'm a vampire, super powerful, I've been trapped here, but I'm a good person, and I was unfairly treated. And so he saves her, right? And he's like, oh god, naked girl who is a lolly, but she's a vampire, so technically she's 300. So we can get that weep fantasy of a 17-year-old getting it on with a 12-year-old, or the other weep fantasy of a 300-year-old getting it on with a 17-year-old. Whatever one you prefer to think about. Either way, I think it's kind of fucked. But he gets her, and she's also super powerful. And he's like, I need to protect you, which kind of goes against the whole, edgy Joker, fuck everything nihilism route that you were going for, because now you're just like, oh yeah, fuck everything except the pretty girls. Bitch, you were kind and nice to the pretty girls and whatnot. Now you just hate that one dude? That's your whole personality changes. Now I don't like him? What? That's not a personality change. You just like to Joker laugh occasionally? You like to smile differently? What the? This isn't meaningful. It's not good. He saves her, and then they get attacked, and he protects her, even though she just went on a long tirade about how she's immortal and can heal super fast, and maybe she needs some blood, but at the same time, it doesn't seem vitally important to protect her, because once again, she has emphasized she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
They fight a thing. It doesn't matter. She bites him and sucks his blood. We have more ugly CGI. They win quite easily. She's been naked the whole time, but eventually she's like, "Oh, you pervert!" Like after quite a while.
Oh yeah, it's a long ass time. Like,
and like,
it is.
She's open to being naked around him all the time. She'll freely drop any clothes she's given for him. It feels like they just felt they needed to hit the trope of the girl calling him a pervert. Like, it doesn't fit either of their characters. I think they just needed to hit the bingo board. Then he's like, okay, you know what I need now? I got a gun, but now let's create a railgun version of an anti-material rifle. I don't think I need to say anything more about that.
No?
This show is killing me from the inside out.
I don't know, man. It feels pretty external right now.
Occasionally we will get clips of the academy and shit happening there. All bland as fuck. Don't care about any of them. One girl is extra sad that he's gone. Okay. They fight this parasite thing. I don't care. Eventually they get to floor 100 and there's this Hydra that they have to fight. Mid-fight, they go in for a kiss. She got mind controlled, but he saved her. And then after the kiss, the Hydra tries to mind control her again, but mind control doesn't work on people who get kisses, I guess.
Don't you know? Kisses help resist psychics, you know?
Of course, that's the defense.
I mean, Fairy is super effective against psychic type, isn't it?
Oh, man. And so, it's like, oh no, they're in trouble, but she'll save the day. Oh no, she couldn't save the day. Don't worry, he'll save her. Which, come on, man. Like, she cries and that makes him go sicko mode. He's like, how dare you make a girl cry? Because he has the power any isekai protagonist has, and that's just being a white knight.
But he's dressed in black, Ram, so can he really be a white knight?
His hair's white.
No, you know what? Point taken.
At one point, the Hydra is summoning endless barrage of mana blasts from 2 mana balls around it. It's stupid, it's dumb, it doesn't look interesting. It's like this endless barrage of fire that has, I guess, slowed down because they've sped up for some reason. I don't really know what the fuck's going on at this point. But they've both sped up, even though they just say that he speeds up, but she's also has to have sped up as well. And even then, all the barrage of fire is still going quite fast, and they're just kind of chatting for a while, and none of it hits them, which kind of undermines that this is a threat at all. They easily win, but they're a little tired after.
You know, me too, bud.
And that's it. No, and then we get more student bullshit, but I don't care. I will also say, I noticed this, especially when the students were interacting, but because there's just more characters. But all of the facial expressions and the reaction shots seem off. Like, it feels like you were only allowed a very limited number of possible reaction faces to make, right?
Right.
And so it's like, oh, I guess that expression kind of makes sense for what just happened. But it's a little bit of a weird one to choose. And there's a lot of that. A lot of those moments where it's like, oh, okay. The animation isn't there. The CGI, Lord knows, isn't there. One thing that I do kind of like is the soundtrack, which is kind of this, like, brass band jazz kind of vibe, right?
Right.
Which doesn't fit the vibe of the show. No. You'll have this edgy motherfucker being like, I will destroy the world, and I will get my vengeance, right? Like a fucking Light Yagami monologue. And in the background, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, this just bopping jazz, and I'm like, this feels, whoever found the music didn't watch the show. Like, they were like, ooh, you know what else? I like Sword Art Online, Shadow the Hedgehog, and let's add a little bit of Cowboy Bebop, but like royalty-free, preferably. Here we go. And it's like, what? Pardon?
It's almost like they're like, hey, we wanted you to compose for the show. Okay, what's it about? Don't worry about it. Just compose us some good stuff.
Like, maybe you want some, like, ominous but intense, like, orchestral music? Perhaps that would be more appropriate, but no, let's just...
Ominous choirs in the background usually get me pretty good.
Oh yeah, that would fit the vibe of the show way better. This show's fucked.
I don't know if you've ever described a show as fucked before.
Not only does it not have anything good about it, but everything is actively bad.
That's impressive.
Like, it is, because often I'm like, oh, the show has no redeeming qualities. This show has no redeeming qualities, and every single thing I can think of, right? Anything that I could talk about, I would talk about in a negative light. It actively makes the product worse. There's not a single positive creative decision or artistic decision that's been made in the entire show, which is why I said, if the weeps say, but it's isekai, nom 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 nom. If it gets above a 7.6, this is it. Lights out, baby.
Game over, man.
I'm gonna stick by that. I'm gonna stick by that stance. Which would be
it's a good thing you can't. It's a good thing you can't see my face, Rem. It's a good thing you can't see my face because the look on my face right now is it's something to behold. That's for certain.
Yeah. Oh man. Then if it's 7.6 exactly, then we just need to figure out how to interpret those results. But
sounds like a hiatus to me.
yeah. Then we just take a break.
We take a break for a few weeks. It's just like, no podcast for the month of August. Like, we just can't.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, this is coming out in August. Never mind.
No other episodes in the month of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fucked. This is such an actively bad show. I cannot think of a single redeeming quality. I cannot think of anybody who could enjoy this actively. I have no idea what a positive review would look like other than, haha, I wish that I was in this world. He's so cool. I wish I was him. Right? Like, just, that's it. That's the only thing or like, oh man, that's a cute girl. I wish I was with her. Basically just people wanting to self-insert themselves.
In the worst possible way.
Yeah, beyond a shallow self-insert, I can prescribe like, hey, it's not for me, but if you're into X, you'll be into Y. Like, I guess, if you love Sword Art Online and Shadow the Hedgehog, if when I described it that way, criticizing it, if you heard that combination and you were like, holy shit, that's all I've ever wanted, go for it. If you are that one person who are like, finally, I feel seen.
I will say, there is a small backing of people who watched it just to see how much worse it could get.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine dedicating yourself to 13 episodes of that?
It's too many.
It also has a second season, and a third one coming out, theoretically.
That's a terrifying possibility for its rating.
Yep. I will also say, the second season, animated by a completely different studio.
Maybe then it has a little bit of hope. Not a great thing to switch studios mid gear, but you know.
I mean, considering that the first season was made by two separate studios.
And it can't get uglier.
Well,
oh fuck.
Look, hey, we're not about spoilers here.
Fuck.
Okay, Rem. I suppose that's enough stalling on my end. So suffice to say, not a fan.
God no.
Not a single positive thing to say about this show.
I'm giving this somewhere between like a 1.5, maybe a 2 if I'm generous.
And that's just for the jazz.
Yeah. And that's just because like sometimes I'd be able to just listen to the jazz and be like, hey, this is kind of a bop. It's nothing like super notable, but it's a bit of a bop. And then I'd be like, shit, some dumb nonsense is happening on screen.
Well, and this is the part where I'd normally ask you what you think the mouse score is.
Well, let me make a prediction, all right? Because I predict this won't be the last episode of Anime Out of Context. That's my prediction.
Okay.
I predict that it won't even get past 7. I think the weebs have to agree with me. There's some times where I'm like, come on, weebs, even you. You. But then again, there have been times where I'm like, 6.8, and then it's 7.7, and I'm like, mother of God. So we could end up in that, but I think it's going to be low. I think the second season is fucking with me.
Yep.
Then I get, maybe if enough people hate watched it, then do things earn second seasons based on hate watch viewership?
It's definitely possible.
Okay.
Usually it's more about the success of the light novel continuations for shows like this.
Okay. They'll 100% leave shit on a cliffhanger. They won't solve shit.
What if I told you there was a Jeep involved?
Oh, fuck. I think 6 point is my bias, making me want to answer lower than I should. Probably. Come on, Weeps. Come on, Weeps. Have my back, all right? You're either going to have my back or this is the last episode, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to say 6.7. No, I just thought of the CGI 6.71. Let's just lower that. Every moment I spend thinking about it is a moment I can't justify guessing higher. Like, every single moment, I just want to keep reducing that number.
Like, it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, I'm like, no, but the Weeps can't. The Weeps gotta know. The Weeps gotta know.
I mean, I will say, the thing that I see people complaining about the most in both good shows, bad shows, and all around is shitty CGI, so...
Yeah, no, like, that's... Because that's blatant. That's something that will, like, wake a weeb up from their stupor, right? Yep. They'll be like, oh, isekai, lolly girls, and then they'll see the CGI and be like, oh, fuck, is this bad? Oh, no, it is bad. Oh, fuck, right? And
then it'll cut away, and then they're like, I'm back in my trance.
Yeah, so I think... Yeah, CGI I think is a big factor. So I'll stick with 6.71. I think I've undershot it.
Okay, Rem.
If you start with 7, then we're in trouble. If you start with 8, then we're done. That's no suspense. We're just over.
That's it. Like, not only with the podcast, but with our friendship. You're just going to end it right here and
7.6 and above, we end the podcast. 8 and above, we end our friendship. And I never
You're going to put a cowboy
again.
hat on, walk into the sunset, and we'll never see you again.
Yeah. 9 and above, and I end myself.
Local man ends himself over overly popular anime. Why? Watch it, you'll find out. Oh my fuck. Oh god. My face hurts, Rem. My face hurts. Okay, so Rem, on myanimelist.net, Arifureta, 377,000 people reviewed it.
Whoa, fuck!
Yeah, no, this, like I said, Rem, back in 2019 when this came out, it was the talk of the town for various reasons.
No. No.
And let's just say that there was probably enough talk to guarantee a second season, but I feel like based on the timeline, the second season came out just 3 years later, and considering that timeline, it was probably already greenlit from the get-go. I could be mistaken on that. I don't know the exact timelines of these things, but theoretically, they take about that long to make something hopefully good, you would hope. Not saying this is good, I'm just saying that's the thought process behind it. But yeah, those 377,000 people rated this, and I mean, Rem, it's been nice. It's been cool. But Arifureta is sitting nice and pretty at. Are you? Okay? Are you okay?
I'm just taking it all in.
Well, Rem, it's sitting nice and pretty at 6.70.
All right, so great news. We don't need to end the podcast.
Nope. In fact, you barely overshot it.
Yeah, better news. I somehow got quite accurate. Though I will say that it was largely through my biases and not through my reason that I got so close.
Yeah, no, you were so heavily weighed down by your biases.
I did not have that much faith in the weebs.
I was kind of poking you to see if you dropped with that one extra little point, but it didn't happen.
If only. If so close. So
close. But, oh my... Yeah, so Rem, the general consensus of this show is it is a massive shit show with a large, very vocal minority, is the general consensus of this. So we got a little over 30, 35 emails on this one, maybe even 40. I don't have the list in front of me right now. But like 95% of them are like, okay, you gotta show this to Rem. 1, because we want to watch him tear it apart. 2, we think it'll be hilarious. And 3, there's this one annoying person who keeps telling me to watch it, and I watched an episode and I hated it. Please help us, type of situation. And then it's just that 5% of emails that we get where it's just like, I'm really enjoying this show quite a bit, and I think that Remington has a chance of liking it too. Which you gotta imagine that those people don't listen to us anymore.
This show is one of the worst quality shows ever that we've ever covered.
I mean, it's not as bad as X-Arm, but X-Arm, like, you remember the rabbit hole we went down figuring that out. This is actually done by an established studio. Two
Yeah,
established studios.
I feel like quality-wise, this might be bottom 5 that we've ever covered.
Holy shit.
I know.
And it's getting a fucking 3rd season, right?
How? I'm losing it.
Yeah, Reb, I wish I could explain it. I wish I could go into the detail. And I could read you some of the reviews for this
No,
show.
fuck them all.
Most of them are negative reviews, as you might imagine. Like, there's the weird, huge bump in the 7s, but, like, most people who rate shows 7 out of 10 aren't really thinking, generally speaking. And those people who rate it, like, 10 or 9 out of 10 are usually also not thinking, but are so self-absorbed that they don't understand what they're doing. But I will say a large majority of the votes are 6 and below, essentially. It's a huge chunk in the 7s, and some spikes from the 8 to 10s, and then it kind of really peters out. Full 5% of people rated this a 1 or a 2, which is pretty big for Mal. Like, you don't see people hate reviewing as much, but the most entertaining thing to me is the amount of people who dropped it, and the amount of people who completed it and gave it a bad score. Like, that's part of why it is where it is at this point. Like, of the people watching it, a full 37,000 just straight up dropped.
Yeah.
Like, because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
I watched 3 episodes and I was like, I feel like he told me to watch 4, and I almost just didn't ask because I just didn't.
Yeah, but you kept your honor.
I did, and so I double checked. I was like, how many episodes? And you said 4, and internally I was like, I knew.
You just didn't watch me. I could have made it 5, Rem.
Fuck you.
But I decided against it. There were people who wanted me to show you the whole fucking thing. Which...
Why?
Well, there is one reason, and I'm gonna send you a picture of that reason.
Are you gonna send me tits? What the fuck? Handsome Squidward flounder? What?
Yeah, no, they wanted me to show you the whole thing just so you could see that, and I think that's like episode 9 or 10 or something like that, so... Do you think that would have been worth it, Rip? Think it would have been worth it for the bit?
No, it wouldn't.
He's one of the most liked characters on the show. So you're telling me you're not a fan of this great piece of comedy here?
How does that make sense in this show?
Hey, Rem, great news.
What genre is this show? Did I miss what fucking genre this show was in?
Unfortunately, no. The first genre this one is described as is not isekai, weirdly. The first theme it throws at us is fucking harem, then isekai.
I mean, okay, yeah, sure, yes, that's what it is.
Right.
Yes. You can tell that from the opening credits, where it has the standard opening credits of, hey fellas, look at all these ladies. Oh man, do you see their boobs? And in the outro, it's like, oh man, look at that girl. She's naked. She's still naked. So really high quality content here.
Yeah, no, Rem, this is a shit show. Most people agree it's a shit show, but back when this first came out in 2019, everybody was hate watching it and thought it was great. Lots of great YouTube videos were made on this, tearing it apart, laughing at the absurdity of it, and just being, like, upset that it existed. And it was that fervent, like, begging of us to cover it that made me be like, I'll wait for things to die down a little bit, because it was definitely also in the middle of the period where I was showing you a lot of heinous shit. So, really, you should be thanking me that I waited this long.
Fuck you, Shaun.
Well, maybe later, Rem. So with that in mind, I guess the final question I need to ask, Rem, is there any chance you'd like to watch any more Arifureta, all the way at least up to the handsome fish, who is very ugly?
Alright, give me a blindfold, headphones, and trap you in the room with me, and then sure.
Fucking hell, dude, that's evil. I watched a whole season of this bullshit. I don't want to watch it again.
Hey, Shaun, I heard there's a second. Great news.
I don't want to. There's gonna be a third. I'm in hell. So yeah, if you guys want us to revisit this one, don't. Please don't. Just as a simple request from me, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't wanna. But with that in mind, if you enjoy Rem losing his mind over what apparently is one of the worst things he's ever seen, because fun fact, Rem, written in 2015. Does that track for you?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
2015? Okay, cool. Then please head on over.
I mean, not in like quality, but like in vibe.
In vibe, yeah. Like, you could tell that this was written right after the big isekai boom of Sword Art Online and whatnot.
1 million, but this is nothing if not derivative.
And it is, I mean, I would call it hyper condensed pure trash, is what I would call it.
Not condensed enough.
Yeah, it goes on a bit long, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say approximately 13 episodes.
See, it's only 13.
If you condensed it all to like 2 minutes, it would be a good parody.
Well, I'll keep an eye out and see if I can find something of parody level quality to show you. But with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you want to leave us a review, please do so. Go to wherever you get them. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google, wherever. We read them all and they mean the world to us. You can even say whatever you like. You can call us fools. If you give us 5 stars, though, we'll still love you for it. But if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where you can watch myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games poorly, or over to twitch.tv/RemingtonChase, where Remington does a lot of other fun things in his spare time, including reading poetry with his cat who rarely shows up.
It's true.
And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week? And are you going to be able to maintain your composure long enough to get through it?
I'll try. Honestly, I am quite drained, but I'll give it a go. Of course, we would like to send our regards to all of our blandest of bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are eating our poisoned meat and getting god powers, but then just choosing a gun instead. And on that list, we have... My name is First Now, bitch. Oops, sorry, I was just overly excited. You're not a bitch. Please don't hurt me. Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and a reward. Xanix, Zayden, Zach Page, Yee, Yandere Neko, wondering who has a bigger sword, Remington or Kirito. Why Shaun? Weekly haiku about Papa Shaun. The night is silent, except for Shaun's lurking. The MILF Hunter returns. Watch Eva and I'll write a poem every day for a month. Walk Me Home Gently, Utah #1, Unhinged Tracks, Truckoon Appreciation Society, Totally God's Angel, Titan CNH. The Villain Behind Glasses wants welcome Cheetah revisit. The Susanator. The Capybara are opening the Big Holes Blue Lock facility. Losers get their legs sawed off. The Barbie movie is the top isekai of 2023. That guy who changes his name every week. Thanks for being the best thing to listen to while working out. Y'all's most agreeable takes distract me just enough. Turban, Tainted Venom, Swedish Weeb, Super Zoo, Spicitis, Snaky Pie, Slenderman Shaun heard about the Boogeyman Rem repellent last week and now won't leave me alone. Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun's grandma is the OG White Swordsmeister, get well soon. Shaun is isekai to a world where everyone looks like Adam Sandler. Seth Senju, Sugoi Dakai, that's what she said. Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams. Rem the MILF is upset that she cannot protect you with her 2 swords, but now there might be a yandere coming for your new puppy. What? Rem loves the big hole. Rar XD, that's I love you in Dinosaur. Pro tips out of context, if you need a password, just tell a bottom that they're a cutie. Did you know that you're a cutie, Shaun? Professor Fox. Penis. Pacawell Musico. Other McNutt. Oh no, I fucked my sister. Oops. Oh no, Big Brother fucked me again. Oops. Hope he does it again. Nitsaira. Nice legs, Daisy Dukes, mix mango. Do. Maya Town, Muscamilon, Mr. Peanut Butter S'more, equal parts Bailey S'more, Screwball Vodka, Whole Milk. Misaka tried to wax poetic and now her pubic hair is a haiku, says Misaka with a world-weary sigh. Makeka7 Hierto, love AOT and didn't like the pod, but here I am. Link Jokerl, lick my ass and call me Mikasa. Liam Dunn, leave Denji and Pachita out of harm's way, Shaun. Kylo, Karu Chiha, Cassidy, Jax, Janine, Jamhance, Jacob Iverson. I'm going to McDonald's and asking if Daddy Rem's Big Hole is on the menu. I found Rem's favorite website, kidsexchange.org. I creaked and started watching Himoto Umaru-chan. Rem is right. I'm always right. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies. Hey, Shaun, you give power bottom vibes, and Remington is probably a brat. Dylan is a dom. Hey, Rem, Portuguese word of the week. Vasco da Gama Rabiado. Help, I've been huffing on the copium for Raguko Shinju review for 5 years now. Grocer in your neighborhood, going down on Shaun's grandma. Glenn Michael Dolan. Farmer Weeb, Fantide, F-Bomb, Erica McCorkle, Elborn Queno is in day 5731 of trying to prank his dad when he gets home. He still hasn't come back with the milk. Dylan Hayden, Daddy Rum, tell me a bedtime story. Cryptid MILF, Creed 13, Country Fried Goth here to remind you that you just lost the game. Come on, Barbie, let's go party, says Miska after watching 15 minutes of Florence Pugh glory. Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, Cheese Monkey. Brockhard for Geodude says Go-Go Gadget clinical depression.
Oh, God.
Brennan's grandma pegs my wet little boy hole. Bonsai Tree. Bob Barker Isekai in the Beastars universe with scissor hands. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Big Blue Bear Boy, awkward lesbian who just got a hug. Are you excited for the drums of liberation, Shaun? Anime out of context ruined my happy sugar life.
Yeah.
Elise Howard, Alpha Angel, AJ Tunnels, excuse me, just eating bees to put myself on vibrate mode. Don't want to interrupt to the movie.
Oh, God.
AJ Honey, A Days, Aaron Hegland, and Dot. Now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody will get their own Isekai protagonist. Shout out to Farmer Weeb, who's made a list for different reasons.
Oh, yeah. You're just hijacking it. I love that.
What does Daddy Rep say to Mommy Shaun? You get John Crichton. Vincent Calabrese, you get Tristan Thorne. Dungeon Master Next Door, you get The Big Hole. The Drew is Tired, she's Eepy, you get Demetrius Lysander and Nick Bottom. The Canadian Anime Stoner, you get Neo Anderson. Soul, you're going to get Bastion Bucks. Roscop, you get Alan Parrish. Rent a Girlfriend Revisit now or make Rem watch some more Sword Art Online. You get Ash Williams.
Groovy.
Rare Kumiko will continue to be a sad boy until Healer Girl's reviewed, also Rem's Tensai. You get Samurai Jack. PL Mare, you get The Big Hole. You get Philip J. Fry. Old Man Rom, you get Mario and Luigi. Monogatari has everything you guys say you want in an anime. This week, unique. You get Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Mike got his Overlord review. You get Kevin Flynn. Miguel DeLeon, you are going to get Peter and Edmund. Not the others, just Peter and Edmund. All right. I see why you've broken it up that way. Massimo Martelli, you are going to get Peter Pan. Latino is the founder and first member of Rem's Holy Bean Nermlins, Nermal Gremlins cult. You get Hank Morgan. Kugor, you are going to get Jamal Walker. Kafka is my mommy. You are going to get Shiro. I, Jean Rollins, have sexy dreams where Kirito and Remington are cheating on their lovers, Asuna and myself. You get Mamako Usuki. I just sold my sleep schedule for $23K and I regret nothing. You get Tanya Von de Gurachaff. Hella Rex, you are going to get Katarina Clays. Dua, you are going to get Murasu Mine Urano. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes, you get Kagame Higurashi. Carver 271, you get Suzaizawa. Cameron Coates, you are going to get Kelvin. Blood Cell, not the bitch boy white ones, you are going to get Yuya Tenju. Beethoven 1201, Leon Fu Bartfort. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a long one, Donald Trump has a short one, Madonna doesn't have one. What is it? As we learned, it's a last name. You are going to get Seika Lemprogu. Animated Z, you get Itsuki. All Father reminds everyone about Dog Button, 11 weeks until Bonsai. You are going to get Saito Hiraga. In Roman numeral. Oh wait, and then we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where I will list a mythical creature as Joey Wheeler, and Shaun will tell you the special ability you gained from eating it.
Alright. Kind of a weird test of my knowledge of mythical creatures, but I'll take it.
You know, some will make some sense, some not as much. So we have, in Roman numerals, 3.14159.265, etc., etc. You are gonna eat a leprechaun.
Oh, cool. Man, I had to start with the Fae, huh?
Yup.
The special ability that you're gonna get is, you eat the leprechaun, and man, oh man, are you great at making bad horror movies.
I've got a mind for business and a body for sin. The sinning is free, but the business will cost you. Here you go, Shaun. This is a freebie. Tarrasque.
Man, you get the special ability of being a pain in the ass to kill.
And that's a pretty good ability.
Yeah.
Hermione pegs Harry and Ron. You're gonna get a hellhound.
Pretty straightforward. You get a nice ability to do a bit of fire.
My dear old mom, you're going to get Sleipnir.
Oh, fuck. Can't just go straight into Norse. That's Norse, right?
It is.
Fuck. So is that the horse? Is that the horse? I think that's the horse, right?
I need
You're not gonna
an
tell me,
ability, Shaun.
You need an ability. I'm going to assume it's the horse. And you're going to get, the ability you're gonna get is a very good Netflix show.
Like, to watch or to be in, or...
It's your mom, so it'll just be to watch.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I don't want her thinking poorly of me.
And last but not least, with second to none, you get Nguravilu.
What?
You heard me, motherfucker.
Could you use it in a sentence?
Oh, fuck. I was by the river, and I got attacked by Nguravilu.
You get the ability you get from eating this creature, assuming it's a creature, is you get a nice shiny coat of fur.
That's pretty appropriate, because as it turns out, it's basically if you fused just a nice little cute fox with a basilisk.
Okay, cool. Look, man, it was 50-50. I was thinking, alright, it's either something scary reptilian or it's something weirdly furry. So I went on the furry side, hoping for the best.
Looks pretty cute if I'm being honest.
What's it from?
Chile.
See, that's my knowledge of like South American mythology is pretty lacking, unfortunately. I need to fix that.
You're white as fuck. All right,
yeah,
well,
I'm aware.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do. I love Sword Art Online, Joe Rogan, and Call of Duty. Those are my 3 favorite things in the whole goddamn world.
I feel like I could use a really nice boyfriend, personally.
So he has a lot at his disposal, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And instead of being like, holy shit, look at all my powers, he's like, but all this is for naught unless I can get a gun.
Rem, you know that I have a proclivity to be a MILF hunter, just occasionally.
Yep.